Bitcoin price was being pushed down by a major trader over the weekend. We're going to be covering that. It's also Solana's birthday. Happy birthday. And we've got a bit more Solana news because potentially it's a market top. I don't believe it, but I'm going to share it with you nevertheless. CME Group, one of the world's largest futures exchanges, expected to launch their Sol future today. So people can buy this and sell the future price. And it's all settled in US dollars. So it's not settled in actual Sol. CME Group is the largest financial derivatives exchange in the world. And derivative exchanges, these are for more institutions. They're for family offices. They're not for your typical retail person. If you want to learn about this, you're welcome to read up on it. I don't think we need to know. We just need to know. We don't need to know how to use it or anything like that. We just need to know that it does pull in liquidity. It offers another source for the people out there, but it also gives them a chance to hedge. If they have massive Sol bags, they can hedge using these as well. The CME Group announced the launch of Ethereum futures in 2021, and it's a precursor to an ETF. I've mentioned that before. Now, Curb has put this out, and I don't agree with it necessarily, but it's a take that we're just going to keep in mind. So CME futures, they were allowed to start to, I think they applied for the Bitcoin, or they applied to be able to do future trading in crypto, I think in 2017, I can't recall. Then there was a coin IPO, so Coinbase's initial stock offering. BTC Futures ETF, October 2021. IPO's initial public offering, but just where they can offer the stock. BTC Futures ETF, October 2021, and BTC Spot ETF. Now, the difference in time between these two things, I think it's going to be, this cycle, right? We'll get a spot ETF this year. It's just the person that leads. It takes a little bit of a longer time. But what you can see here is when all these things happened, the price actually did go up significantly from the spot ETF, which has not been shown on this chart. But the previous things, really, they kind of marked a top. And QW has this idea. Look at the BTC ETF, giving vibes of Coinbase IPO, Futures ETF, and CME Futures, all which marked the top of the market. It's a nice meme. However, this was last year, and we've since more than doubled the price. I think it's going to be very, very bullish. It will not be a market top. All right, so let's go over the key details this week in terms of just macro news. So we're going to have February retail sales Monday, housing stats Tuesday, Fed interest rates Wednesday, then jobless Thursday, Fed manufacturing Thursday, and February existing home sales data Thursday. Are you ready for Fed week? The TLDR is the macro economy will dictate how everything moves, and depending on what this is speculated to be, that's what we're going to see. How the market could go down further if this is not what we're after. This is not your time to be leverage longing unless you got some amazing skill. There is some massive FUD out there with peak FUD hinting at $70,000 floor. And so 5 things to know on Bitcoin this week. This is taken from Masari, link below. Bitcoin has maintained support around 80K as traders anticipate the Federal Reserve's interest rate decision with potential for price surge if dovish signals emerge from Chair Jerome Powell. Analysts predict a possible liquidity grab at 78K before a breakout with targets set at 87 and potentially 109 in the coming weeks. And historical analysis suggests Bitcoin could reach 126 by June. And social media analysis by sentiment highlights 69K and 100K as key psychological levels, with current sentiment indicating potential for a market reversal. Fear and greed has risen to 32. So we're away from that extreme fear. So I'm not thinking we're going to dip down here, but we're still definitely in no man's land. And the reason I say this is not to scare anybody. It's just, yes, it's boring right now. It's boring. So protect your positions and don't lose interest. Just watch a few videos. Watch what I'm doing. Follow some stuff on Twitter. Stay in the game. Something will come along. There'll be some sort of catalyst to start making more interesting gains, essentially. Plus, you can still scalp trade this region if you want to. Let's have a quick look at the calendar, see what's going on this week, this news, which was daily news, is now going to be Monday and then Friday. So just you refer to the calendar. What do we have here? There's a Polymarket Guide to Farm. There's the Cadets Working Group vote happening today, 3:30. And we've got a whole list of things that you can have a look at here. More and more stuff will be added, and we're going to go over everything. Just a reminder, stakeyoursoul.fellow.com. People ask me why. The reason why is we're trusted, we put out content, we can help you. And if you don't stake your soul, you lose out to inflation. So stake with us. We are trusted, and we'll look after your soul. So happy 5th birthday, Solana. Fantastic. I'll put out a tweet thread later on, just what I was doing many years ago. I first found Solana in like 2021. But this is a major milestone. In kind of specifically, we've come a long way. Like Solana's moved faster than all other chains have in terms of just trying to ship. And I think that's why we're doing so well. Now, if you are in the US, or if you want to go to the US, buy your Accelerate tickets, like the AI thing I've mentioned a few times, it's the AI conference, by March 31st, and you get a +1 for free. So you bring a friend to America's biggest crypto conference. I will not be going. It's just too far to make that trip and a little bit too expensive. But for those in the US, I think it would be worthwhile. AI is like, we know it's going to take over. And sorry, this isn't an AI one. This is just Accelerate. This is a build, but there will be a lot of AI stuff there. Range of Finance. These are new little content pieces, I think, coming from Range of Finance, where they're looking at where liquidations could happen. So there's a mini liquidation cluster stacked from 123 to 125. So you could potentially look at those. You know, we think that market makers will go, they'll liquidate, they'll take their fees, and then price tends to rebound after that. So if you want to buy spot, you could potentially put a limit order for like 123, 125, or if it liquidates, you may want to put on a long, but you need to check your own charts there. Dupe calendar here, a bit of a revision is coming this way, but have a look at it. If you think there's too much overcrowding here, put a comment below. We want to make sure that like this is helpful to the community. The biggest thing, of course, is this working group vote that goes at 3:30. You can click on the link, you can read through it. You vote how you want. I don't want to tell you how I'm voting. But like I am of the opinion that there should be more working groups formed. That's just my opinion. You do it yourself. If you want a very quick summary in terms of budget, what you're approving, $462,000 for 1 year, and USDC, of course. And then there's some dupe incentives come from a separate allocation, and you can have a look at this. Freeze the frame, pause it, and you can have a look and see how it is. Okay. Meteor has been shipping a whole lot of changes. I say this all the time. I'm going to say it again. Please use Meteor. I know it's boring. Right now, this market is boring. There's not a whole lot of hypey stuff. Probably the next hypey token to come along will probably be Kanye's. People are going to hate it and love it at the same time, but that will create demand. So we'll have to see how it is. However, there's another token coming up pretty soon that's not going to be as hypey as Kanye's, but it still will get a little bit of interest. The LP Army Bootcamp was on the weekend, so you can go and watch the recordings and do the task and then get entry as a private in Discord. But it's very, very worth watching. In particular, the second day, in my opinion. Join the LP Army Discord. This is where people are sharing different, opportunities that are jumping in. So Gustav has this. There's many other smaller groups, but now LP Army Discord actually has their own thing, and I reckon that's damn cool. Mint, hold, and win your share of 70,000 USDC. This is absolutely epic. This is from Solflare. I have no idea what it is. You can mint one of the mini NFTs and win. I minted it. Oh, my wallet has locked, but I minted it myself. It only works with one address in the wallet. So if you've got different wallets in different locations with different addresses, it'll work. But if you've got like 5 addresses in this, it'll only work with one of them. It's free. It's a free mint. You click the banner to mint your free NFT, your ticket to win. I have no further news, but Solflare, I've mentioned this many times before, it is my preferred wallet. MetaDAO has the Futagi system, right, with voting. This relates to Jito Sol and a grant market. So how are you trading this? Just click on the link and decide what you want to do. There's not a lot of trading volume right now. Futagi's new, it's a bit more complex, I guess. But long story short, Switchboard is an Oracle service. They want a grant from JTO tokens. And if they can generate $1 million in economic activity within 6 months, then they will get they'll get the first part if this passes, and then the second part afterwards. So if you want to go and buy the direction here, you could make some money. Remember, trading makes money. Same thing here. Check it out. Now, DeFi Dungeons, the gold tokenomics, I keep on mentioning this. This vault opens Wednesday the 19th, 5 p.m. UTC. I believe it's open for 24 hours. I will be getting in with this. I do not want to shill here. These kind of tokens, they can do well, but they don't necessarily go crazy up in price. But there will be quite a bit of hype around this game. I would say this would probably receive a decent amount of market share, in my opinion. So what I'll do with this is I'm going to maybe try and buy like 5K worth. That is not financial advice. 5K worth. And then I'm just going to LP it across the week. And then I'll start to use it in the game once the game goes live. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be really fun. And ideally, I'll be able to make a lot more content on this. It's a Meteor Alpha Vault. So if there is more than $3 million deposited, which I think there will be, there'll probably be like $20 million, then it'll be prorated. So let's just say it's $30 million deposited, then you're going to get 10% of what you put in, and you'll get 90% back of the USDC that you wasn't utilized. Now let's have a look at the trader that is shorting the heck out of Bitcoin, and they're doing this on Hyperliquid. So Hyperliquid is getting a whole lot of favorable attention. I think it'd be good if Dupe Perps could do a similar model to this so that people can see the positions really clearly in the UI, and then that would be kind of fun. So one thing is that they keep on changing their display name to TetherFud to try and pretend that they are an insider and they know that there's more information coming. Before, I think they said keep an eye on the crypto congress or whatever. In the end, they've been kind of non-events. I think it's just more a powerful person goes along, they put on a massive short, and people think, well, that's going to win, so I'm going to go short as well. And look, you would be right. However, what happened over the weekend was, I mean, this is $429 million worth of value, right? And they get liquidated at 86. And what was happening is they didn't put in that much. They kept on depositing more and more. We think it's a crypto exchange, and it's probably a hedged position, potentially. But the funding that they're paying a sizable amount of funding for this position. But they are in profit here, and people have been trying to stop them out. You can go have a look at, remember, CoinGlass to see, where are the bigger whales and what are they doing. Just keep in mind, like if you entered it, the same thing, even though it looked like they're going to be liquidated, you would be in profit. But in general, this kind of 40x leverage is kind of crazy, to be perfectly honest. And the longs are not doing right now very, very well. But use these tools. You don't have to copy trade them. Just be aware of what the big dogs are doing. I agree with this with Hyperliquid. I've never used Hyperliquid. So they have redefined trading. When a whale shorts $450 million worth of Bitcoin and wants public audience, it's only possible on Hyperliquid. Probably not completely accurate. Like you'll be able to do it on Drift. Maybe not with the same size necessarily. But there'll be other places out there. However, then there isn't this beautiful UI where you can just see what it is. And it's true, anyone can Photoshop a P&L screenshot, but no one can question a Hyperliquid position because you can see it on chain. So this is pretty cool. I think others will follow. So what was happening was a group of insiders were trying to liquidate this person by putting on massive longs, including Justin Sun. And there was a battle for trying to push the price up, but they didn't actually get liquidated in the end. And as we can see, they came out on top. All right, we've got a little bit of news from OKX. We're temporarily pausing our DEX aggregator to address incomplete tagging on blockchain explorers. And this is to address unsuccessful efforts by the Lazarus group to misuse our DeFi services. So, this is kind of important. in a large sense, but it also means that it's not really a decentralized aggregator, to be perfectly honest, because they just turned it off. Dupe could be the same thing, but it probably is highly likely never going to happen. The biggest lesson here is, like, keep your crypto safe from hackers as best as you can. Hayden Davis is back in the news. This is the man behind Libra from Solflare Ventures. He apparently launched Wolf and rugged it after hitting a $40 million market cap while on the run from Interpol. Now, there's no actual, as far as I'm aware, there's no Interpol notice out. They've requested one. And I believe he's in LA, and he's still posting on social media. I would like this person to take those funds and to hand them over to some trustworthy DAO or something to go and work out some sort of redistribution. Like, most of the timeline is going to forget about this person, and I personally I don't care at all. But he did a really, really shitty thing, and yeah, and he did a lot of damage to the entirety of crypto and Solana in general. Actually, it's pretty amazing how fragile we are from time to time. Anyway, now with regards to looking at, because when we see these Wolf tokens or whatever, you can't see if it's bundled unless you know what you're looking for. So this person here, Neo JNC, a Goose DAO member, he put out a good thread, and I went ahead and did a video on everything. Watch this video if you're going to do any sort of buying, even if you're not going to DLMM. Just if you're going to buy a meme coin, do these things first. Or you can ape first and then quickly go and check these sort of things and then exit the position if you want. But I would much rather you could probably go through within 60 seconds checking everything here, and you can see if it's been bundled, because the previous thing, the Wolf token, was bundled massive. Now, apparently there's absolutely monster flows into BNB chain today. So what is that all about? Who knows? In the last 7 days, we're looking at 21 million coming from Ethereum. And I don't know if we can just see Solana 7 million, base 1 million. So there's a decent amount. But there's also quite a bit coming into Ethereum. So when you see it like that, maybe we can even look in the last day. When you can see it like that, you think, oh well, there's something interesting over there. But I'm not sure if that is the case right now. But they could be. We could definitely keep an eye on that. The biggest like daily active bridger is Arbitrum, which is where Hyperliquid is. That's where most of that stuff is going. BSC per DeFi Llama is not getting that much. Now let's finally have a look at the charts just briefly. Remember, I'm not a professional trader, but there is something that I've used with Katoshi. It's not financial advice, it's not trading advice, but it works very, very well. And it's a bunch of indicators. I go over this video all the time, and I'm going to go over this until something else comes along that's better. So in particular, you set up different filters, and you have to watch it. The charts, of course, you have to get in and then get out. And this is a market which is not like super, what's the right word? It's not super like pumpy right now. It's cross. It's scalping small gains. So if you have a look here, this goes green. When this goes green, you let for one thing to close green, and you would enter it here. And like at kind of the peaks, which will take the wicks into consideration, it'd been up 8%. But even if you just made 7%, and this is just in a couple of hours, like especially when it's a nice fat curve, that would have been decent. As soon as it starts to lose its momentum, you could have closed here, or you could have just taken some profits at like 5%. Maybe you're happy with 5%. Right now, it's kind of lost its momentum and would have to wait for a reset. Or you could leave it open if you really wanted to, some of it. You can see the same thing works, and you can back test this yourself, right? You can see the same thing here. You wait for candle to close, and you would have entered here. It would have gone up, but then it would have come on down, and well, I messed up that. But suffice to say, even if you let for this candle to close and then you enter, like you've made 10%. Like these are sizable gains, and it's was continuing to drop. That's Solana. We can also have a look on Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now, the price is being shorted down, as we know, but the actual line is green. But the line went green. When did that go green? On Friday. And you'll let it close, and you don't get as much of a movement here, but even like 2-3% is kind of sizable with Bitcoin. So check out this chart, these charting tools. I'll have the link below because it's very, very worthwhile. Thanks very much for watching. Check out the subscribe button right here, give it a click, and check out these 2 videos over here. Remember, a link is below regarding Katoshi's video on how to trade this system if you want to try this system. Cheers.